Tens of thousands of people have marched through Moscow to pay their respects to opposition politician Boris Nemtsov, who was assassinated on Friday. Nemtsov's allies have accused the Kremlin of being behind the killing, but President Vladimir Putin has condemned the murder. For more on what it means, joining us now is Otago University international relations expert Robert Patman. Morning, Robert.
Good morning, Michael.
So what do you draw from this assassination?
Well, I think it's one of the most significant political assassinations we've seen during the 15 years or so of Mr. Putin's rule in the Kremlin. Boris Nemtsov was a leading opposition figure. The opposition, admittedly, are not strong at the moment, but he was unstinting in his criticism of Putin and a very brave man. He's detailed the corruption of the Putin regime, which is breathtaking. And he also was in the process of preparing a report which showed the deep involvement of Putin's regime in the war in the Ukraine, something which, of course, Mr. Putin has denied. So, in a sense, Mr. Nemtsov believed he was in danger of being killed. He said so publicly about 10 days ago, and he certainly identified the Putin regime as being the force that was likely to kill him. And his mother also kept warning Boris Nemtsov to try to curb his criticism of Putin for that reason. 70,000
turned out to farewell him. Are they, in a sense, all at risk? They must be very brave to actually appear publicly like that.
Well, it could be a watershed, a turning point for the Putin regime. There have been a number of other very courageous people who've criticised Putin in the past. For example, Anne Politkovskaya, the investigative journalist who linked Putin to the blowing up of flats in Moscow in '99 to the beginning of the Chechen war. Then there was Alexander Litvenko, a former Russian Secret Service agent who was assassinated in London. But there's been no serious investigations of these crimes. So Nemtsov's killing, I think, is an escalation, and it shows the sensitivity of the Putin regime to criticisms of its handling of the Ukraine crisis. And for Mr. Putin's point of view, the nightmare scenario is not only that his deep involvement in the Ukraine is fully shown, because he's always presented it as the Ukraine rebels, which Russia is sympathetic to, but also this criticism is occurring at a time when the Ukraine conflict is costing the Russian economy dear. So, in other words, those sort of criticisms will bite that much more.
But Putin ultimately just wouldn't care, would he? He's worth many billions himself. He has complete control of the media, complete control of the military. He basically can just do what he wants, can't he?
In the short term, that may be the case. But dictators are incredibly often very vain and very insecure. And Mr. Nemtsov's very hard-hitting criticism, the fear is that other people will pick up where Nemtsov left off. And I think it's not true to say that Putin can do what he wants. He's got a constituency of people around him. There's a lot of old chums from St. Petersburg who he worked with in the 1990s, and business cronies, and they'll be displeased by the sanctions and also the falling price in the global, the falling price of oil on the global market. This is all hitting the Russian economy hard, and Mr. Putin has to keep these people happy because they are, if you like, key to his regime.
OK, thanks very much for your time there. Robert Patman there from Otago University.